Heather Colicchio from the American Association of Dental Office Management, otherwise known as AADOM. AADOM.
Yes.
Okay, quick surprise trivia question.
Oh, okay.
In Trenton, New Jersey, there's a bridge. What does it say on the side of that bridge?
Huh.
Come on, you went to school. Didn't you go to Trenton State?
I did go to Trenton State.
Come on. While you're thinking, I was born in Trenton, which is,
Oh.
I don't tell a lot of people that. Now 7 other people know.
Yes, yes.
So, come on.
When you say it, the world, wait, Trenton makes the world takes?
You got it.
Yes, yes.
Trenton makes the world takes.
Trenton,
New Jersey, like back in, I don't know,
the world
1500s maybe. No, it was like the early 1900s was a industrial, it's on a river, you know, it's in the Northeast.
How beautiful.
It's a beautiful bridge. Not really beautiful bridge. It's more like a train bridge, a trestle bridge.
Like a train bridge.
It doesn't make sense. Trenton makes the world.
I thought it was going to be scrawled in spray paint. Matthew was here.
That's next to it.
That's carved somewhere, but
Yeah.
that's not. This is in lights, although I don't think they can afford the lights anymore.
So they flickered probably.
They do that.
So
Okay, we're back to
we're back to it. So I'm gonna divert. Speaking of trains, this one has gone off the rails. I'm gonna try to get it back on.
Right.
So in our first part of our conversation, we learned a little bit about coffee, and we learned, you know, that Heather really determined there was this need 12 years ago in the dental industry where office managers, professionals who run dental practices had no go-to association. So 12 years ago, you started what became AADOM, the American Association of Dental Office Management. So, you know, that's 12 years ago. What's the current status? What's new? What's now?
What's going on?
Oh, what day of the week is it? I mean, literally something new every day. I mean, that's just how fast things are going and how quickly we're evolving and working to serve the needs of our membership. I would say the newest things, we started last year, we started a chapter initiative. And I think that's probably been one of the newest and greatest things that we've done. You know, we're interesting in that we started, you know, we didn't start locally and grow to a national association. We started nationally, and we were serving everyone nationally, virtually, and then a lot of members said, well, what can we do on a local level? And that had kind of been in development for a few years. So about 1.5 years ago, we launched our chapter structure, and we now have, I believe, 54 chapters across the country, and adding to that literally monthly, which has just added such an amazing facet to our organization, and that our members now have the opportunity to meet locally. A lot of them meet quarterly to bring education where they live, to network with one another on a regular basis. That's really been a game changer for us.
So what's involved if I'm an office manager in Charlotte, North Carolina, and I don't have a local chapter? What's involved in starting one of these local chapters?
You would reach out to AADOM, and we would, you know, have the conversation with you. We help you find a founding sponsor. We help you find members. We have it all, you know, all basic, all laid out. We do a lot of the groundwork for you. I mean, I'm not to say there's not work involved, but basically we, you know, blast our membership in the area. There's a chapter starting. We reach out to local sponsors. We help you find speakers. So we try and make processes as easy as possible. But,
yeah, you just call those the local chapters, or is that your study club concept? What do you call it? Does it have a name, or is it?
AADOM chapters, and you know, they started as study clubs, and it's a little more organized now. The structure is more organized, right. So there's chapter structure, you know, and there are, you know, guidelines and things that they all follow. So it's very structured, which is great because it really allows us to provide, you know, the best resources for them. So
and does the you know, is the structure based on geography? Is it a city, a county, a state, or is it based on density of membership? So in one area it might be a city as a chapter, but in another it might be, you know, a 3-county area as a chapter.
Right. So we do have some that are city based, some that are county based. You know, here we have Northern Jersey, Southern Jersey. So it really depends. The way it works is, I believe, so if there's a chapter, there's a 90 I think minute driving radius.
Got it.
So that's kind of their territory.
Right. You know, what's interesting to me is that you've 12 years ago, the light bulb went off, and you've got this I guess 12 years ago it was an underserved market, right? But you almost have the blueprint. Like there have been 100 organizations before you not serving your audience, but you can almost just say, okay, what does the ADA do well that I can start doing? What does the Seattle Study Club do well that we're not doing? What do these other groups do? And then just start to sort of plug them in, because you've developed this great kind of connection and following. And I think where it was great from the start is you gave these people who, and we all are this way, we all want to connect with people, we all want to have a relationship and sort of get some help along the way. And you've already got them, and now it's just rolling out services and what else can we do for these people? And so how do you get these new ideas? Do they come to you like at the meetings? Do the members come up and say, Heather, you've got to do these, we need local chapters. We need local chapters.
That is exactly right. That is exactly right. I mean, I can have ideas all day long. They're useless if it's not what our members need. And one thing I've always prided AADOM on is we listen to our members. And they'll stop me at a meeting and say, Heather, this is what we need. We survey our members regularly, monthly actually, when we're updating their data. We say, what topics are we missing? How can we do better? And we're very careful to pay attention to those responses, and that helps us decide what the next big thing is. So just listening, really, I think is such an important skill. So, we've had ideas where we, the team would say, oh, this would be a great idea. Well, is it really? Let's ask the members. And sometimes we're right and sometimes we're wrong. So.
And that's listening is such a good, I'm not a great listener.
I was going to say that.
I know. But I wouldn't have heard it.
Yeah.
So, but I'm working on, I realize as I get older how vitally important listening is, because it makes you better at everything. You know what I mean? And so especially listening to the members of your organization, and then also even in a practice, right? For the practice owner to listen to the office manager and the patients and all that. And I think maybe dentists are not, I don't want to say they're not great listeners, but they're headed down the road, they're doing their thing. And
sometimes people with a very keen focus, whether it be on great dentistry or a business or what have you, I think sometimes it's hard with that keen focus to take in feedback and to take in other ideas, and that's part of listening. And I think listening will be one of the parts to this answer. I know this is a nearly impossible question to answer, but you've been immersed in this community of office managers, dental office managers now for 12 years. Mm-hmm. What are some of the qualities that it takes to be a successful dental office manager?
That's a very good question. I can tell you because I know thousands of them. So I think the one quality I see in our members who are excellent is they want to be excellent. So, you can hire someone to do a job, but if you hire someone who's committed, our members are the best of the best. They find us. They say, I want to learn more. I want to be better. So I think it's more of a personality trait than a business trait. It's just having to always want to improve personally and professionally is something I see in our members all the time. They're extremely engaged. From a more tactical perspective, what makes a great office manager or practice administrator in the practice is someone who understands numbers, someone who is a good listener, someone who is a good liaison, because oftentimes in the practice, that position is kind of the liaison between the dentist and the rest of the team. So I think a good communicator and a good delegator. Not everyone, can do everything. So I think understanding how to delegate well is very important.
Yeah, that's true. Let's talk about corporate dentistry. How is corporate dentistry affecting office managers?
Well, it's affecting office managers in that as corporate dentistry grows, more office managers are growing with that. I don't think it's affecting us much. We do have services for corporate dentistry. We do have services for private dentistry. So, and they do require different things. And I know in corporate dentistry, they provide a lot of the internal education as far as their corporate culture. But AADOM still provides education on industry, data, research, things like that. So I think as corporate dentistry grows, it'll be interesting for all of us to see how it changes and shifts. So,
what percentage do you have any idea what percentage of your membership is involved in corporate dentistry? Is it just kind of what everybody else is, or is it different? I guess what I want to know are corporate dentistry office managers, do they feel like they need more?
Right.
Are there more of them who need connection, or fewer of them because they're good? I've got a little playbook here that I got from
Part of my big company.
Yeah, I'm good.
Primarily, our membership is based. The majority of our membership is private dentistry. At this point, we do have members who are in corporate dentistry. What I'm finding is we're working more with the corporate in corporate dentistry. Not so much the members, but working with the corporate and corporate dentistry to say, this is our recommendation to make your office managers better. So we're not working with them individually, but we are working with the corporations at the corporate level.
With them to develop programs and different things for that.
Exactly, kind of train the trainer type thing. So we're not working with the individual members, but how do we work with your mid-management and your trainers to make better office managers?
Right.
So I'm going to shift gears here a little bit, and on the Dental Insiders.
We shift gears a lot.
Well,
one of us does.
One of us does. I don't know that there's been an episode yet where we have not touched on the topic of trade shows.
Yeah, are we obsessed with trade shows, or are we just concerned?
I think it's because we go to them so much. In fact, just before we started recording this, we were talking about, the CDA is coming up, and are you going to that, and blah, blah, blah. And so, you talked about in the first part of our conversation that you went to Greater New York, and that's where this kind of idea of AADOM first came to you. And I'm just, curious, what your membership thinks of trade shows. And of course you have AADOM has an annual meeting. How is that different from other industry events?
Well, I'm like you guys. I love trade shows. I love dental trade shows. You come back so renewed, and it's so funny. I mean, I have, a friend who's a dental speaker consultant who lives literally, I can see his house from my house, and I see him only in Boston and only in Chicago. So
Yep.
I think the trade shows are important in that they do, sort of keep the community together and, bring everything to a personal level. So, and the education, of course. So I'm a big fan of trade shows. AADOM was born really at Greater New York, and just, as far as evolution, we now present at Greater New York. So it's been great. Our trade show, so we don't call it a trade show because we don't have a trade show feel, and that is really what makes our show so unique and so special. It's more of a boutique show in that it's once a year, it's 3 days, and it's got an energy, really is the only word I can use to describe it. The education is stellar, top-notch, best speakers in dentistry, but there's an energy at our show that is just infectious and contagious, supportive. Our members, our community is so supportive of one another. It's something I've never experienced really anywhere else. And just so blessed to be a part of it. So our show this year is in Boca Raton, Florida at the Boca Resort. Not a bad place to be. One of the most spectacular locations I've ever been to. So what makes us different is we encourage interaction. It's not a trade show. It's not an exhibit floor, pipe and drape. Everything we do, the goal is interaction, whether it's the education, whether it's the time with the exhibitors, whether it's time with one another. It's really just, there's so much interpersonal. You're not walking by grabbing pens. You're interacting, and you come back from our show with education, obviously to implement, and best practices, but also you come back with a whole support system you never knew you had. It's just that kind of show where connections are made and friendships are made. So
yeah, and I think that the one of the reasons it's so successful is the group that you serve. It's clear because I've been to the show.
Been there.
I've been to that show a couple years ago, and it is an energy show, and it's inspirational, and it's very different than most trade shows. I get that you don't call it a trade show because it's not. It's an energy show.
it is an energy
show. Is that group clearly they support each other, and I think it's a sign that they want support. It's a group of people who maybe more than other niches, they want it and they need it. And what else are you doing at the shows I know that when I was there, you guys kicked off the show with some like live performance. Was it Lori who did it? Like she sings a song.
Always. Yeah, we always have a
what's this
surprise opening.
It was Rolling in the Deep when I was there.
Really?
So it was two Rolling in the Deep, but I can't remember what the title of the song was. Do you remember?
I've got the drum beat in my head.
Yeah. But it changes all the words to go.
The
Correct. But she gets up there and she's got the wig on and she's got the outfit and she is singing for real. And it is
for real. Well, she is a professional singer, so she has always kicked off our show, and it's great fun. And we involve our speakers and we involve our audience. And I never know usually until I get there what the heck we're doing, which is so fun. Last year we did something a little different, which was a big surprise. So we kick it off with a lot of energy. Back to what you were saying though, in that dental office managers, practice administrators, they're on an island. I mean, if you think about a dental practice, they're alone. They are totally alone. In fact, that was one of our first graphics we ever used, was just this woman on an island like this, like, someone waiting to throw her a lifesaver, because, like I said in our previous interview, there is no formal education training for this position. A lot of it is learning on the fly, which is really scary because, as we said, you're running a multi-million-dollar business. And a lot of times what I learned early on is, these office managers are doing the best they know how, but a lot of times they know there's got to be a better way to do this, but who do I ask? I can't really ask the dentist because I don't want them to know I don't know what I'm doing. I can't ask the assistant or hygienist. Who can I ask? And that's where our member forum comes in. So they can hop online and talk to each other there. And that's where the conference really, really, really comes alive, is you get these, office managers from all over the country going, wow, how do you do this? How do you do that? It's just that best practice share. It's really an organization of abundance and not scarcity. And if I give, I receive. And what we'll do this year, which is something that we did a few years ago, is we'll seat, for some of the events, we seat the office managers by specialty because they have unique needs. We'll seat them by region because they have unique needs. So just any way we can kind of, manipulate so that they're getting the most benefit from being with, everybody is what we try to do.
So I'm going to mark this on my calendar. Boca Raton. What are the dates?
September 16th to 19th.
16th through 19th.
And what's the kickoff song this year?
I don't know.
Great. We'll be there. Michael and I'll do a duet.
Yeah, and I'll bring a costume.
And if you want to learn more, it's AADOMconference.com, AADOMconference.com.
Got it. So I think last question before we wrap this up, it's time to look into the crystal ball, something that we also do a lot here on the Dental Insiders. So look into the next decade. How does the role of dental office manager change?
That's a great question. I know if things continue trending the way they've been trending, the way I see them trending, the title of office manager will probably be gone, which is why we actually did a name change. We started as the American Association of Dental Office Managers. Like I said earlier in our previous interview, that title has shifted. So now there's business managers and practice administrators and CEOs and CFOs managing these practices, running these practices. So I think crystal ball, 10 years from now, I think that let's just say dental office manager will not be a job. It will be a profession, absolutely 100%, where they're no longer learning on the fly, where there is formal education, and where they are so respected within the industry that it's going to be a very sought after position.
Excellent.
I agree. I totally agree. And I think it's good. It's good for dentistry. I think it's good for everyone. It's good for the people who serve it. I think it's good at the end of the day. It's good for the end user, which is the patient, because it makes it a better deal. So,
yeah.
Well, Heather, thank you very much. This was a great 2 episodes with us. We appreciate your insight and all your time and your experience and all that.
And we look forward to seeing you in Boca September 16th.
I
and
hope
19th.
so, yeah.
All right. Well, that wraps up another episode of the Dental Insiders. Thanks for joining us. We'd like to thank our guest, Heather Colicchio, for joining us. Thanks again. Please tell your colleagues about the Dental Insiders. Thanks, Heather.
Thanks.
Take care.